Hello everyone, my name is Gabe Shu. Welcome to the first ever episode of Gabe Draws Cars. Today I'm going to be using just regular 11 by 17 copy paper and two different kinds of pencils. For my thinner lines, I'm going to be using the Prismacolor Verithin, and for my thicker lines, it's going to be the Faber-Castell Polychromos. Let's get started. Alright, the fun part. But I really do wish I sketched this fast because I'd get a lot of sketches done, or a lot more sketches done than I actually do. But anyway, yeah, you can see that this is going to be a front three-quarter view of a vehicle. I decided that this is going to be a kind of a grand coupe, not exactly a sedan or a coupe, kind of something in between, like what BMW does with their 4 Series sometimes. Speaking of BMW, this is actually what the vehicle ended up being. So, yeah, there you go. The kidney grille is right there, and also adding in that center door cut just to make sure that we do have enough room for 2 pairs of doors coming up here. What you saw me do right there is to draw a line through the wheel well, which is a little weird, but what I was trying to do is to make sure that certain elements of the car do index to each other, as my boss used to say. That just means that, you know, everything on the car makes sense and speaks to each other. Nothing's really out there on its own, not making sense by where it's placed. So we as designers, we want to make sure that things are not making people scratch their heads and kind of wondering what's going on there. So right now I'm beginning to work a little bit more on line weight to kind of fade out the structural elements that once helped me construct the sketch. Now I'm trying to really give the car its outline and to help the eye move towards and pay more attention to the actual elements of the car that really want to be noticed. That'll help potentially, say, a modeler understand what you want the car to do in certain areas. So if every line had the same weight, then it's a little confusing where you want the person to look. Right now, those infamous 5-spoke wheels that, you know, kids sometimes get hassled for by certain instructors in school. But here we are, 5-spoke wheels, because they're just quick, easy, they don't look too horrible. So that's just my way of locking them in so that, you know, we have wheels and not just voids. Gonna let this play out for a little bit before I keep talking, and yeah, just enjoy. Let the music play. Alright, so after about 15 minutes of sketching, this is what I've got. This is just a rough sketch, or kind of a rough draft of what the design will end up being. So what's going to happen next is I'm going to put this sheet of paper, the sketch, underneath the next sheet of paper, and use it as what we call an underlay. And what that allows me to do is to fix any issues that I'm not quite happy with without starting from scratch. So that's coming right up. All right, the underlay. Life is all about second chances, right? So here you go. Using the initial sketch to work off of. Not working quite as hard to try and get the perspective right because it's already there. Luckily, it wasn't too bad first go around. So let this play out a little bit. You can already see some of the changes that I'm starting to make here on the overlay as opposed to the initial sketch. Yeah, definitely certain elements of the initial sketch that wasn't quite speaking to me. So, alright, so able to block in some of the elements of the vehicle just a little bit quicker now because all the information that I really need is in the base sketch, and got the latitude to make some changes as I see fit. You'll see me switch over to a sharper pencil so that I can start adding some more oomph to the sketch, some line weight. Kind of an interesting thing because I actually went to school first for engineering, and so when you do engineering drawings and whatnot, you're not quite used to adding line weight to your sketches because it's more about drafting. But for design, you actually want the eye to be kind of more so manipulated to see certain things, and certain things need to fade in the background. So when I was going to school for design, my instructor, to help me understand line weight, he had me take home one of my classmates' assignments, who was already a master of line weights, and try to emulate where he put his lines, and which lines are heavier and darker and which ones are a little bit lighter. And also, we just saw the shading that can also add to the visual interest of the sketch. So that's all stuff that I had to learn too. Yeah, just one of those things where you have to go and observe, but a lot of these little rules you kind of have to figure out yourself. But really, what I came up with was, as you can see, where uh, two lines meet and there's a little bit of a radius, I guess, a fillet, I guess. That's kind of where you would be one example of where you want to add a little bit of a darker line there. Also, lines want to shoot past their intended target so that it's a little bit more of a dynamic sketch as opposed to, where lines come together at an exact point, which is more to do with drafting once again. So those are all things that I had to learn getting into design school, and things that start to make that drawing just a little bit more dynamic, a little bit more interesting in the end. Also, some interior indication. We always were told that cars, since we're kind of sitting in a little bit of an aquarium, with people being able to see from the outside in, want to know that there's something on the inside. So a lot of times we'll just add some headrests that you can see through the glass so that people know that there is something inside and it's just not a bubble that is void of anything. Yeah, there you go. The shading that I'm starting to add there just adds a little bit more of a focal point to the sketch. A lot of times you'll see that the corner facing or closest to the viewer is the focal point of the sketch, because it is closer to you, and you'll start to see a little bit more of the detail. A lot of times that is where a lot of the elements of the car, the character of the car is there, because, for instance, the headlamps, kind of the eyes of the car, is really where the personality, or a lot of it, comes from. So that's it. after looking at the overlay sketch that I just did, wasn't quite so happy with it yet. So I did another overlay, and this is what you see here. Alright, so the next step would be to bring this into Photoshop, where I'll be doing a colored rendering of the sketch. But that's for next time. If you enjoyed watching this video of me sketching, please like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys next time.